Welcome once again, everyone, to another episode of Quick Reviews. This is episode 13, and it's sort of a special episode. I mean, this week has been kind of strange. Actually, it's actually a super week for me, and not just because it's been a great week. And I want to thank everyone who's been commenting on the Q&A in part one of my 1 year anniversary contest. So I can't wait to see what people are going to say when part two comes out next week and we find out who wins the prize package. But it's also super week for me because it's mostly Superman for me this week, which is kind of strange. Um, uh, DC pushed back all of the last week's super books, which would be Superman Doomed #1 and Action 31, to this week. So, which is the regular week for the release of Superman Wonder Woman. So, three Superman related books in 1 week. No, it's never happened to me that I can recall. Plus, I actually got a couple of books in the mail yesterday, which would be my birthday gifts to myself, which also happened to be Superman books, and I did pick up a few other things. I picked up, the only other new book that I got was just the United #1, and I actually picked up this back issue at my shop, which is Justice League America #92, 0-hour tie-in issue. And I was pretty impressed with this book because it looks great for a 20-year-old book. This looks fantastic, and I don't know where my guy at my smaller shop got uh, his back issues, but all the ones that he's got now, because his old back issues, as I said, disappeared, and he only has like a few boxes now of back issues, completely new stuff, and they're just looking great. But I'm not going to talk about neither this book or this back issue. I'm going to talk about Superman Doomed first, and then I will show the books that came in the mail yesterday, Thursday. So, what did I think of this little super event? Doom #1 right here. Um, Action 31 and Superman Wonder Woman #8. So I won't be reviewing the whole thing, the books individually. I will just give you my impression on the story so far, and I gotta say, the story so far has been boring. Color me unimpressed, but the only interesting things that I found in these three issues is, the continuing subplot of Lois and her Brainiac power and the coming of Brainiac back to Earth. That's probably the only interesting thing I found. Um, this issue, though, this one shot does have the first meeting between Lois and Lana in the New 52. That was cool, actually. The bug with Doomsday was okay. Um, this is definitely not the same Doomsday and that we've met before. Basically, wherever he is, he kills everything, burns it down. We actually learned that not only is Doomsday killing everything, but he's actually absorbing life. So he just keeps getting bigger and bigger. The fight with Superman and Doomsday was, okay, I guess. Pretty violent. Um, and obviously, Superman defeats Doomsday. And I guess Doomed. is really about what happens after he kills Doomsday. But you know, besides the subplots, we get some Justice League. We get Luthor with the Justice League being an ass. I hate Luthor so much. Um, there's really nothing going on in the follow-up issues in here and in here. It's just Superman is changing, and he's changing to the Hulk apparently because Batman discovered that the spores that he breathed in when Superman defeated Doomsday um, here um, in Smallville. He pretty much he's got this thing going on, battle here going on, and finally defeats him uh, right here, and we see Superman breathing in some sort of like spores that are turning him into a Doomsday-like creature, but the transformation is basically caused by psychology. So if he's angry, uh, he turns into this freaking Doomsday-like monster. So at the end of Superman uh, Wonder Woman is able to calm, Clark down, and he basically reverts back to normal. So yeah, it just made him into like super Hulk. Superman has to stay calm because if he gets angry, he turns into a doomsday-like creature. So definitely not impressed. Of course, I will be reading this till the end because I buy Superman regularly. But the best part so far for me is the whole subplot with Lewis and Brainiac. So let's see if it gets better. Um, so which books are that came in the mail yesterday? My gifts to myself for my birthday. Well, let's start with Action Comics. So I got Action Comics number 440 um, from 1974. Now I picked this book up because it's the first comic book appearance of Inspector Henderson. Inspector Henderson debuted originally in the Superman radio program from the 1940s, somewhere around the mid 40s, I believe, like mid to late 40s. Um, and he was sort of like the police contact between, Superman, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Daily Planet, and then he shows up again in the TV show. But unlike other things that came out from the radio program, like Perry White, Jimmy Olsen, The Daily Planet, Kryptonite, um Henderson didn't really make the leap to the comics until 1974 in this very issue. And in fact, his first appearance isn't very impressive. He's actually like in a very small, tiny panel. I'll really show it here. I mean, when I looked over the book, I really didn't notice it until I decided till I read it. And yeah, so you really can't notice him, but it's this guy. This is, Inspector Henderson, and that's his very first appearance. He appears in only that one panel in the book, and doesn't show for the rest of the story. But he did have some, appearances after that, few appearances after that in both Superman related books and in the Lightning book from the 70s. Uh, After that, post-crisis, after Crisis on Infinite Earths, he became commissioner of the Metropolis Police Department. Had a few appearances, since the early stuff. Uh, a lot in like the early 90s during the death of Superman. Then after that, he hasn't really shown up after that. But I got this. Also, the Green Arrow backup story features I think it's the return of Crypto the Super Dog. He hadn't shown up in quite a bit at this point, so I believe this is his return to the books, but they decided to do it in the Green Arrow backup. And then we have Superman number 297. Now, this book is actually part two of a four-part story that ran between Superman 296 and 299, where basically Superman is led to believe that he's actually losing his powers. So he doesn't have powers when he's Clark Kent, and he has powers when he's Superman. So in issues 297 and 298, Superman decides to try an experiment because he thinks that his mind is telling him that he needs to choose one identity. He thinks that living two lives has been a bit stressful for him, so he thinks, well, I have to choose one life. So in this issue, he decides that for 1 week, 7 days, he's going to live life as Clark Kent. In 298, it's 1 week as Superman, and in 299, the whole plot is discovered, and he fights a whole bunch of his villains, including Toyman 2, Terraman, I believe Luthor, and Brainiac. I'm not sure if it's Brainiac, but a few of those. But I bought this particular issue because this issue is a bit controversial. It's been controversial since it came out in 1975, actually. Why? Well, this issue, once Superman is living his life as Clark Kent, he acts less mild and much more assured of himself, and he begins a little romance with Lois Lane. And in a very suggestive series of panels, this sequence right here, it's kind of implicitly stated that it seems that Lois and Clark Lois and Clark slept together. So the whole sequence in this page, let me go back to it. It basically in this sequence, Lois comes to Clark's apartment, makes him dinner, and then they spend a little time together right here, and then it jumps to like the following day, and Lois is a little bit happy, but like I said, it's been implied for years now that in this very issue, Clark and Lois, had some sort of very intimate interactions. I've also heard, and I've heard this years ago, by the way, that this panel had been edited because it just made it even a lot much more clearer that something happened between Clark and Lois, the previous night. But if you read the story, you might have to make up your mind. But it's there, it's very clear that something did happen, and it's been kind of a controversy. It's been kind of a controversy, and a lot of writers actually later on caught onto that. That there is some like really weird reference to that scene, even in the more modern books. So yeah, that is it for me and for this episode of Quick Reviews. I will see you next time for the big drawing. So that should happen in a few days from today. And I'll sign off as I always do. Until next time, keep smiling.